Cool. Hey guys, just my first time using this streaming software, so I'm just getting used to it. Got some bagpipes. Just a second, I'll let you know why I'm making a live stream. But first I'm going to read a Bible verse. Let's see here. Go to Daniel 7:13. I hope my sound's good. I haven't used this microphone yet for this software, but it looks like my levels are good. Okay. Daniel 7:13. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. Happy Friday, everybody. I am doing the first of what might end up being several live streams. And right now my studio is not set up, so I'm using the laptop web camera. This microphone is okay, but not that great. I have some fan noise coming from my laptop fan. So I know it's not the best setup, but I just wanted to jump on here and do just a little video and explain what I'm planning on doing in the future. Before I do that, I think maybe the best thing to do will be to let you guys listen to something that I listened to a couple of years back that caused me to reevaluate a lot of my plans. If you guys have ever heard of the podcast called Sovereign Nations, or a man named Michael O'Fallon, I highly recommend it. And I'm just going to play a clip from it here. Hold on, let me mute my mic.
Do you have the courage to stand? Are you fearful of being known as someone who is not nice when your nation is being attacked, your children's future is at risk, and the bride of Christ is being molested? The choice is yours. Right now, regardless of your age, your physical condition, your financial situation, or your marital situation, you need to ask yourself this one question. What are you made of? And secondly, what are you going to do about it? I'm Michael O'Fallon, and this has been The Causes of Things.
When I first heard that, I think I was working here in this shed, building an office out of it. I listened to a whole bunch of podcasts when I was building this office. If you saw this place a couple of years ago, it would have just been a pile of junk thrown in the shed with no insulation, just 2x4s and OSB walls, and a roof that was falling apart. And I rebuilt the whole thing from scratch to make an office out of it. And I had a chance to listen to a lot of different podcasts as I was working. And I remember when I heard that, I just stopped and I went out and sat and stared in the yard and thought for a few minutes about what am I going to do about it. And I had been doing a lot. I mean, I was a busy guy, and I definitely wouldn't say that I hadn't considered the question before. Obviously, I had tried every day to be making an impact. But I had to reconsider some things, and that kind of set me on a redirection path that brought me to where I am right now, because this is something, right now I'm working on some ideas that I have had for years, and I had to get some things in order before it was ready, before I was ready to move on them in an outward way. There's definitely a lot of work that I had to do, laying the groundwork and getting my own house in order. And there's a lot of things that were in my control, a lot of things that were outside my control. But I'm at the point where now I'm able to, some of those things that were outside of my control have been taken care of. Some of the things that were inside my control, I got the reins over and brought them into order. And so what am I doing now? Well, I'm going to be trying to talk a few times a week to a couple groups of people. And I prefer Gab, but right now Facebook and YouTube is where those people are at. I'll get into that in a minute. But the two types of people that I want to connect with are, well, young men that I personally know and have an established discipleship relationship with, either currently or in the past. There's a lot of guys, a lot of young men who I've had a discipleship type relationship with in the past, and spent maybe several hours a week together or more. Some guys I'm thinking of, we lived under the same roof, and now there's we've moved along, but I do want to have a method of communication. I know this is kind of a one-way communication, but it's a way to kind of carry on a little bit of a discipleship relationship with those guys, and to have a little bit more connection in a way that's different than a phone call or a text message. Obviously, those things are important too. And the other group of people is those who want to join in. And again, I'm thinking of young men here who want to join in or help with creating resources for a network of Reformation societies that are local societies of like-minded Christians. And I'll explain the concept of that in future videos. But I'm thinking those are offline things mostly. And through digital media like this, and websites and stuff, apps, we can provide resources or point people to resources to build their offline community, but leaving it up to them, just kind of being a place to go for support for those kind of things. Again, that'll be explained in future videos. All that entangles. And then of course there's people that just want to listen in. They just want to hear what I'm saying to those two groups of people, the first couple of groups that I mentioned. So if you're not in those couple of groups, but you are listening and get something out of it, cool. I'm going to cover a lot of topics: local government and politics. It's all going to be locally focused. Local government and politics, local church involvement, how to be involved in the church, how to help other families, how families within church congregations can support each other, and how you can reach across church congregations. Churches can cooperate with each other in a local area. Families can cooperate with families that are in another local church congregation. And talking about ways to do that. Networking, community building. I'm going to talk about business, entrepreneurship, supporting local Christian businesses, and all that. Now, I prefer to do this on Gab, but Gab doesn't have their live streaming set up yet. But the other reason is the people I want to talk to, the people that I want to connect with, are here on Facebook and YouTube. So that's where I'm going to be talking right now. But I highly, highly encourage you guys move over to Gab if you can. And the reason is I think Christians should be building the best of everything. And that's what Gab is working on trying to do. They just came out with their own payment solution because they've been canceled by banks. And so they decided, well, we'll just start our own bank. They've been canceled by, I think it was like over 20 banks or something that they went through. And so they said, well, we're going to build our own bank, which is great. And I hope they do it better than anybody else. I hope it's better than PayPal. And I expect it to be because, there are Christians involved in the creation of a lot of these things that we rely upon. A lot of these infrastructure technologies were built by Christians because we have the worldview that makes sense of the world. Right now we've got this other worldview that is arresting people for shaking hands. We've got the worldview that doesn't understand what the difference is between a boy and a girl. And they don't understand economics. They think that, if there's not enough, so if people don't have enough things, then giving them money will solve the problem. But all that is it's like the amount of things we have to buy don't increase when you put money into the system. There's only so much food being produced. You give everybody more money and they don't make more food, then it's just more people with more money trying to buy the same amount of food. It's like if you had a restaurant or in your kitchen at home and you're running out of food in the pantry, but you give everybody an extra set of plates and silverware and say, there, I've solved it. Now everybody has 2 plates and 2 sets of silverware. Well, that doesn't increase the supply of food. And that's the way this anti-Christian worldview is viewing this secular humanistic worldview is viewing economics and a lot of things like that. These are the kind of things I'll be talking about. But my point here is that worldview, it can't succeed. It can't compete with the Christian worldview because we understand the way the world works as God made it. And so I think that Gab is going to make the best of everything. I think Christians are going to build the best everything. And what we see now is a lot of what Christians have built in the past is being destroyed. And so it's time for us to go out and build our own things. Let's see. Do we have any comments? Okay, I don't see anybody leaving any comments. So I'm going to leave that at that. This was just kind of an introduction video. And I've got a pretty busy day. I've been working since about 4 a.m. and I have a lot of things to do today. And so my coffee break is over, but I'll be doing these videos regularly from now on. I'll try to do at least 4 a week. Let's say I'll give myself some days to skip, but I'll try to do at least 4 of these a week. Anyway, leave a comment, you guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to hear me talk about. And in the future, a lot of these things will come into a more concrete ideas. I glossed over a whole bunch of things, and so you probably don't really understand where I'm at or where I'm going to be coming from on a lot of these things. This Reformation Society concept there's a lot to talk about there. But even with this introduction, you guys, let me know if there's any questions you have or anything you think I should address, and I'll be in touch. All right. And also,